okay, we're considering the structure of your company and how it's organized. We've got PD&E. We've got the need for engineering and product to be really aligned at the highest level, as well as within the product trio. So when you're thinking about like how to optimize all of these different relationships, what's a good place to start?
The good place to start, I think, is the product roadmap, which is actually the foundation of everything. That's the foundational document. It is owned by product, but collaborated on extensively.
Hmm.
And complete transparency into strategic initiatives and what we're thinking and the scope is extremely important. The other thing that I feel to optimize for the trio is a very deep understanding uh, of what the other person's doing and a lot of empathy for the other role. So it is not easy. Like I know like a lot of there's product and engineering is at loggerheads where they say that these guys like you keep increasing scope, whereas like engineering, we go like these guys just don't finish whatever we're giving them. It happens everywhere,
Yeah.
and it's very natural to butt heads. But I feel this concept of empathy is so important, and it comes top down. Like if the leaders of engineering and product and design have empathy for each other, it'll trickle down into the teams. And what we started doing was we started showcasing the work that we're doing, even if it's like completely technical. So we started doing these a very small 20-minute weekly or bi-weekly demo days. We have two pods in engineering, so essentially it is bi-weekly, but we get to see something on a weekly basis. So engineering start shows us things like even if it's something like penetration testing, like has nothing to do with product, it's a technical roadmap item. But if you don't showcase that this took so much work, we had X items that were pending, this is everything that needed to be changed, it was like this much of lift, there will never be empathy because then product will go like, what do these people do all day? You know? It's like because there's no visibility and transparency there. So showcasing everything that you're doing, and then products start doing the same thing. We do this thing called the product roundup, where we started showcasing, and then design becomes a part of it. Here's everything we thought through. Here are the user tests we did. Here are the user interviews that happened. Here's the strategic initiatives. Here are the experiments that we're running. Here are the ones that we validated. Here are the ones that we invalidated, like just talking through all the trains of thought. We're building this product requirement document. Can you look at this? Is the feasibility right? But showcasing that, because I think product and what they do is like it's very cultish. Anybody outside a product doesn't quite know what they do, but they think they're valuable in some way. Anybody who's not there, it just seems like this shiny thing. Oh, I'll just sit and think in a room all day, and that's what we do. And there's this kind of like it's a bad rap, but kind of opening up that box and saying, listen, here's everything that we're doing, and kind of building that empathy that everyone's working hard is really important. And that's what started with the lessening of the friction. A lot of empathy, a lot of communication, and a lot of transparency about everything that's happening in a very, very, rigorous manner really helped.
I think what you mentioned about the couching it under showing the work in a lot of ways, like the actual work, but also the thought process and the considerations around it helps, I think, really reveal sort of the invisible labor that goes into a lot of different things. And I think like the very specific one of if you're in engineering, like even demoing penetration testing or something like that, like to show that how that can be innocuous to people outside of the org, but the workload to accomplish that is huge. So I think that's really great. One quick question. So you shared a little bit of examples of engineering and product and design was sort of within this like showing the work theme. What does that look like for design?
Design works very lock in step with product. But the one thing that we found like really helpful is getting design and front end engineers really interconnected helps a lot to build that relationship as well. So it's what we don't want to do is consider design as a part of product. Design is doing like their own thing, and design is collaborating with product and collaborating with front end. So usually what happens is a product is the first one Like after we've had our user interviews, we at least try to have one interview a week. And that's like the minimum. The weeks that are, it's not acceptable to not have an interview. So if by Wednesday we don't have an interview lined up for the week, we will like, guerrilla market it to be able to get an interview for that week. So the product trio is on a lot of interviews, which is really helpful for contextualizing problems. But product is the first one who kind of takes a stab at it after taking design and engineering's feedback. So basically, we get on an interview, we find an opportunity, which is increase performance. I'm going to make something up, like increase the performance of the particular page. And then there's like a lot of considerations around it. So engineering comes up with their ideas of the opportunity, which is very, very engineering focused, which is like, can we implement lazy loading? Can we create a UI view that can like make it easy? Design is thinking about it in terms of how do we change around the UI? And product is thinking about like, do we even need this or not?
Yeah.
So, but once we have all of those considerations, product takes the first stab at it. And once that PRD is ready, like the PRD is very focused on key actions that we got, and then it just gets passed on to the design team. And design comes up with their own considerations, shows it to engineering and product. We're all like, once we're all in agreement, that's when it goes into user testing, which design runs again, which is like what's broken, what's not broken, how can we fix it. What product helps really in that particular situation is personas. Like, who are you building this for? What is your demographic? What are their needs? And where engineering comes in is in terms of feasibility, which is like, can we even do this or not? Or can we change this up and the feasibility will become way lower? And then design runs with user testing.